Hello, folks. I was held up. I see you're still 3 here, and I apologize for that. It's been a crazy day for me with a funeral and a couple other things, but no excuses. I'm just late. So let me look down here through the questions. Has anybody seen the screen yet? No. What I'm supposed to do now? Mine is blank, and again, I apologize. So the main thing that I wanted to do this evening is talk about AODF 2, which is now out. And it's not the question that I talked about in class on Tuesday. I looked at the new edition of the book, the Woolfolk book on educational psychology, and the author changed the example for that chapter on cognitive learning. And I think it's a good change, because the other question, the question I discussed on Tuesday, was a pretty negative kind of thing. What would you do to get them to do this? The current question, and the page numbers are in On Course under Forums number 2, and the current question is that you have a class and it doesn't say what subject it is. It can be the subject that you want to teach, and you've given the first significant exam and basic kinds of knowledge, and a third of the students did not do well. 2/3 of your class did well, seemed to have mastery of that, and 1/3 of the students did not do well on the exam. So then Woolfolk poses some questions that are in your Part B of AODF 2. It's 2 parts, just like the last time. Part A is asking you to critique the answers of 3 practicing teachers that are at the end of the chapter. The page number is there. And the 3 give their answers of what they would do. So you give a critique of those 3 teachers like you did last time. Some good thought. Again, it's not right or wrong in what you say, but how carefully you explain how you critique those 3 teachers, and what your thinking is in the way you critique them. That metacognition again. And then Part B is for you to answer the questions that Woolfolk poses in the first page of that chapter when the scenario is given. Those same questions I've reproduced in AODF 2, and it's at what would you do? Now there's some hints in the chapter. I believe it's chapter 10. It's 8 or 10. But on cognitive learning, that's mentioned in AODF 2. And what would you do? Find some things in there. You're going to need a couple of citations. And again, it's not necessarily that you say the right things in what you would do, but how carefully you explain your thinking, explain why you would do this, what was the thinking behind your thinking, what do you hope to accomplish, how would it affect your students. You're at the beginning stages of being a professional teacher, a professional educator, but it's a good chance for you to discuss some of those things and how you would help students with their cognitive learning. And I encourage you, if you want to, think outside the box. You know, is there some interesting slant that you could put to what you would do to help these 1/3 of students that were in your class and did not demonstrate mastery of the basic definitions and concepts in your subject matter? And the scenario posed by Woolfolk says that these things that were covered on the test are needed as a foundation for future study, is what was said in the chapter. So I hope Josh and Justin and Logan, I don't see Emily there, but that's probably my fault. I am recording this session of me talking, and I will send out an email and tell you where that tape is located. Emily can check it there. Again, sorry for not being here at 5 o'clock. Josh, Justin, Logan, would you type in something that just lets me know you're here, so I know that I don't have to contact you about watching the tape, or I will contact you and let you know where it is. Okay, I see Josh says that he's here. It's come up on the screen. Thank you, Josh. And Justin, Logan, are you there? Not sure yet. Oh yeah, I just see now Logan says he's here. That's above Justin. Let's scroll down here again. Mine is blank, so there's the first one. There's Logan, Justin. Okay, so it would just be Josh. We've not heard from yet if he's still here. Josh said, what are we supposed to do now? Yeah, that was a good question. You probably wondered where I was. Okay. There he is. Good. I'm glad the three of you here. I won't keep you for long because I said it would be 40 minutes at the most. Do you have any questions after looking at AODF2 that you want to type up there? I tried to make it very similar to the first AODF1 and how you're answering, and the material's all there in the chapter of what you need to do. When you answer Part A, which is the critique of the three teachers, again, put the teacher's name as a heading and then type your critique so I can know, okay, this is what you're saying about this teacher. And then the second teacher's name and a critique, and the third teacher's name and a critique. Then when you move to Part B, I believe there's 4 questions in Part B. When you get to there, just put number 1, retype the question and then give your answer. Number 2, retype the question, give your answer. 3 and 4. And again, just put your thinking behind what you're saying and at least 2 citations to something in the chapter. If you want to use a direct quote out of the chapter, just be sure and put quote marks around it and the page number of the text so that that's documented and you're good to go. Any questions at all on that one? Do we just do the high school teachers? No, Logan asked that question, do we just do the high school teachers? I've put the 3 names of the teachers that you need to do in the new edition. I believe it's a special education teacher who's working with high school students, a middle school teacher teaching math, and I believe the third teacher is a 6th grade teacher. In this new edition of the Woolfolk book, he changed the teachers around and got different answers. So there wasn't 3 high school teachers. There were 5 teachers listed in the end of that chapter of what they would do. And I picked the 3 teachers working with the oldest students. I think there was a 1st grade teacher on there, and I didn't pick that one. 3 teachers for you to do, and they were the 3 teachers with the oldest students, the adolescents or the beginning adolescent or the young adults of high school. So those are the 3. And I put their names in AODF 2, so you won't have any trouble finding their names. That was a good question. Anything else that you want to type in? Good. Logan's got that. He says, okay, sounds good. Again, just looking for clarity and some good thinking. Remember, in nonfiction writing and getting to the answers, you don't need complicated sentences. It's straightforward sentences. This is what I would do. This is what I think. This is what I was thinking when. Those kinds of things. Just clarity and good thinking is what I'm looking for. And I know now, next week is the opportunity to get a lot of this work that's coming up finished. There's 3 assignments that I can think of that you'd be gathering articles for your literature review out of the IUS library online or finding them somewhere, Google Scholar. You're finding sources that pose some kind of answer to your question. The motivation paper is something that's coming up. We've talked about motivation in class, and there's a chapter in the textbook on motivation. And a motivation paper is not a long assignment. It's going to go in your portfolio. So it would just be a page to a page, no more than 2 pages. Can't go over 2 pages. No one who's looking at your portfolio will read more than 2 pages on any one topic. So a page, page and a half, 2 pages top, double spaced, to go in your portfolio would take care of the motivation assignment. And you can get a lot of those things that we've talked about internal control psychology and need fulfillment and everyone being motivated and however you want to say it. And you can also get the things out of your book from Bandura, Children See, Children Do. So you can complete the motivation paper anytime. And then the third thing to be thinking about that I can see is that you do know your article that you're teaching to the class, that you're going to review with the class, with the PowerPoint presentation. I think I went 20 minutes, and we're really talking about 15 minutes to 20, 25 minutes, just however long it takes you to really cover that in class. So a lot of work to do next week, and that's 5 hours in next week to get that done without coming to class. You can text me if you have a question next week, something isn't quite right. You can email me. Of course, text will get there sooner, but you can email me. You can call me on the phone, on my cell phone. I'm just planning on working around here at school and doing some other things, so I'll be around. And if necessary, I'll come and meet with you at IUS, 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 or whatever it is. But if you need help getting that work done next week, I think you can knock a whole lot of that work off. Anything else that you want to ask about? Okay. I don't see anything coming up. This is a good teaching mechanism through IU, through Adobe Connect. I think I have another board that I can switch to here. Let me see if it changes for you. Okay, now my picture is smaller, but you see it with Adobe Connect, and I think that you as high school teachers will be working with this technology much more than I have in the future. And I can still see on the left side your 3 names, but the nice thing about this, which is called presentation style, is that you can put documents in here. And this is a multi-page document, so I can go down through it, demonstrate something to you, the students. You can ask questions, and notice there's a chat window over here now. Let me try typing in a chat over here. So I'm hoping I changed the screen. I'm hoping it changed for you. I'm not sure. If you have that, yeah, okay, Justin is typing. Good, yes, okay. Yes, from Logan. Great, and everybody there. All right, so good. So when you save a document to your computer, if you look in the bottom left down here, I've saved this P13 test 1, P312 test 1. When you save a document there, you can display it on the screen. I could even make it bigger. I could make my picture smaller. The other thing that I can do is that you can download this now from here by clicking on it. You've already taken that, so I don't know that you'd need to. But you can put material here for your students to download. So not that online classes replace face-to-face. I do not believe that they do. It does give some more opportunities, as we've talked about what's coming up in the future. You can see I've gone to page 3 here. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the original view that we had. Okay, that got me bigger. I see Emily was here. There's her questions. Does this thing work? Anybody out there? Well, I'll get an email to Emily. I'm sorry that she wasn't here. I make this screen bigger as I'm working with elementary students because we use this in school here. And as I'm working with elementary classrooms and doing some different things, then I want my picture to be bigger so they can see me. It's displayed onto their smart board, same kind of board we use in our classroom in 404 or 204. And so if they can see me, and then they can relay questions to their teacher, and they can type questions at the bottom that as principal I can answer. They can ask about recess or this, that, and the other. And it's kind of a way to communicate with the principal through technology. It's also possible for me to put a class of students in the computer lab, have all the students get onto this site and be at an individual computer to ask their questions. And just another sign of technology, we're giving the state mandated tests in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade this year in the spring, and all the students are going to take the multiple choice portion of that test on a computer. They will not be coloring in bubbles. They will be reading the test on a system much like this, answering the questions. They will, on the open-ended responses, do handwriting into a booklet, but half of the tests will be online. Well, any other questions? I'll scroll down to the bottom. I was able to demonstrate this, which was the main idea that I wanted to do, Adobe Connect. Also to tell you that the questions in AODF 2 changed. I think they're actually easier questions for you to get your hand around or your mind around and coming up with your answer. Again, don't hesitate to contact me next week. I'm not kidding, really. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me if you have a question or an issue, something you need, and I'll give you some advice to the best of my ability or tell you where to go or come up with an answer somehow. If there's not anything else, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Any last questions? Okay. I'll send an email to all 4 of you saying where this recorded message can be. I don't know if the 3 of you would want to watch it again, but at least it'll be there for Emily. Have a good week next week. Contact me if you need me. All right, I'm going to sign off now. All right, bye-bye.